Hello, amazing students. Welcome to English with Sophie. Do these two sentences sound the same to you? I'm really excited about this project. Now listen again. I'm really excited about this project. One feels alive, the other feels dead, but the words are identical. So what's different? Here's the truth. You might speak English perfectly, use correct grammar, know thousands of words, yet people still seem bored when you talk. They check their phones during your presentations. They zone out mid-conversation. It's not your accent. It's not your vocabulary. So what is it? Keep your score as we go through this lesson. You'll discover exactly where your speech falls flat and how to fix it today. Imagine this: you've studied English for years. You can write emails that impress your boss. You ace grammar tests. You understand movies without subtitles. Yet when you speak in meetings, people's eyes glaze over. When you tell stories, friends seem distracted. You're fluent, but something's missing. This isn't about being a beginner. This is about your identity as an English speaker being incomplete. People judge your competence not just by what you say, but by how you say it. A monotone voice makes brilliant ideas sound boring. It makes confident people seem uncertain. Your skills are being underestimated, and it has nothing to do with your grammar or word choice. Let me paint a picture. You're in a virtual meeting. You're explaining your excellent idea to the team. You've prepared perfectly. Your English is flawless. But halfway through, you notice your manager typing emails. Your colleague turns off their camera. Another person asks you to repeat something you just said. Or imagine this: you're chatting with friends at a cafe. You start telling them about your weekend trip. Within 30 seconds, someone interrupts and changes the subject. It's not that they're rude. It's that your delivery isn't holding their attention. These moments happen in job interviews, presentations, casual conversations, even phone calls with customer service. So what exactly is monotone? Simply put, it means your voice stays at the same pitch level throughout your speech. Your rhythm doesn't vary. Every word gets equal stress. Think of it like music with only one note playing repeatedly. Boring, right? In speech, monotone means no ups and downs in your voice, no variation in speed, no pauses for effect. It's the vocal equivalent of a flat line on a heart monitor. Now here's the good news. This is a tangible problem with specific solutions. You can hear it, measure it, and most importantly, fix it. But first, we need to understand why it happens to you. The first culprit is your native language. Different languages have different melody patterns. Some languages, like Mandarin or Thai, use pitch to change word meanings. Others, like French or Japanese, have flatter intonation patterns than English. When you learned English, you transferred your native language's rhythm and pitch patterns onto English words. This is called L1 interference. It's completely normal and happens to everyone. Your brain is doing what it learned first. If your native language doesn't use pitch variation for emphasis the way English does, your English naturally sounds flatter. This isn't your fault. It's a predictable stage in language learning. But there's another reason your speech goes flat. Here's what happens inside your brain when you speak English. You're simultaneously choosing vocabulary, constructing grammar, pronouncing sounds correctly, and trying to communicate meaning. That's like juggling 4 balls while riding a bicycle. Your brain has limited processing power. When it's overloaded with language tasks, it cuts corners. The first thing to go: expressive intonation. Your brain prioritizes getting the words right over making them sound interesting. This is cognitive overload. Even when you know English well, if you're nervous or discussing complex topics, your intonation flattens. You've experienced this. You sound more monotone in formal situations than casual ones. It's your brain conserving energy. Here's something that might surprise you. Native English speakers can be monotone too. I've heard British professors deliver lectures that could cure insomnia. I've sat through American presentations where the speaker's voice never changed pitch once. Some people are naturally less expressive. Others become monotone when reading from scripts or discussing technical topics. The difference? Native speakers usually know how to switch it on when needed. They've internalized the melody of English since childhood. They can access it automatically when giving important presentations or telling exciting stories. So if even native speakers sometimes struggle with this, how do they sound natural when it matters? What's their secret? Here's the truth about communication. Your words carry information, but your voice carries emotion. When you say "that's interesting" with rising pitch, it shows genuine curiosity. When you say it flatly, it sounds sarcastic or bored. Pitch and rhythm aren't decorative, they're essential. They tell listeners how to interpret your words. They show enthusiasm, concern, surprise, or authority. Think about a time someone said, "I'm fine" to you. You could tell from their voice whether they meant it or were hiding something. That's the power of intonation. Without it, your speech loses impact. People don't just hear your words, they feel your meaning through your voice. Let me demonstrate. First version. "I can't believe you did that for me. Thank you so much. This means everything." Now imagine I say the exact same words but completely flat with no pitch variation, no pauses, every word at the same volume and speed. Can you hear the difference in your mind? The first version communicates genuine gratitude and emotion. The second version sounds robotic, possibly even sarcastic. The words are identical. The grammar is perfect. But one version connects with you emotionally and the other doesn't. This is what happens in your conversations every day. Your words are right, but your delivery isn't supporting them. So how do we fix this? Let's start with the simplest technique that creates immediate results. In English, we stress content words, the nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs that carry the core meaning. We soften function words, the articles, prepositions, auxiliary verbs, and pronouns that provide grammatical structure. Listen, "I'm going to the store to buy some milk." Not, "I'm going to the store to buy some milk," with every word equal. Practice this sentence. She wants to learn English quickly. Can you hear which words get emphasis? This simple shift, stressing content words, instantly makes your speech more natural. But there's another layer we need to add. Rhythm isn't just about which words you stress. It's about timing. Natural English has a musical quality with patterns of stressed and unstressed syllables creating beats. Native speakers also use pauses strategically. Not random pauses from searching for words, but intentional breaks that give listeners time to process. They chunk sentences into meaningful phrases. Listen, "Yesterday, I went to the market, and I saw something amazing." Compare that to, "Yesterday, I went to the market, and I saw something amazing," said in one continuous stream. The first version feels conversational and easy to follow. The second feels rushed and robotic. This is why your speech feels mechanical even when your grammar is perfect. Here's a powerful technique, shadowing. Choose a short video clip of a native speaker, maybe 30 seconds from a TED Talk or movie scene. Play a sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly, mimicking not just the words but the melody, rhythm, pauses, and emotion. Don't just say the words. Copy the music of their speech. Your mouth and ear train together. This builds muscle memory for English intonation patterns. Do this for just 5 minutes daily, and within 2 weeks, you'll notice your natural speech becoming more varied. The key is choosing speakers with expressive, clear speech. Avoid monotone speakers or technical lectures. Find speakers who sound engaging and alive. Now here's an uncomfortable but essential exercise. Record yourself. Have a short conversation with a friend or record yourself reading a paragraph aloud or practice a presentation. Then listen back. Really listen. You'll hear things you never noticed while speaking. Maybe your voice drops at the end of every sentence. Maybe you rush through important words. Maybe you pause in weird places. This is gold. You can't fix what you can't hear. Most people are shocked the first time they hear themselves. That's normal. You're not listening to judge yourself harshly. You're gathering data. Where does your pitch stay flat? Which words need more emphasis? This awareness is the first step to transformation. Let's get specific with practice drills. First drill, pitch variation. Say this sentence 5 times, emphasizing a different word each time. "I didn't say she stole the money." Notice how the meaning shifts. That's the power of stress. Second drill, sentence melody. Practice rising intonation for yes-no questions. "Are you coming to the party?" Practice falling intonation for statements. "I went to the party." Third drill, exaggerate. Take a simple sentence like, "This is amazing," and say it with ridiculous enthusiasm, overacting like you're in a cartoon. Then scale back to normal. This trains your voice to access a wider range. These isolated exercises build control. But drills aren't enough. You need to apply these techniques in realistic situations. Practice short dialogues with a friend or language partner. Choose scenarios, ordering at a restaurant, discussing weekend plans, explaining a work project. Focus on making your intonation match the emotion and context. If you're excited about something, let your voice rise. If you're concerned, let it show. Record these practice conversations. Listen for improvement. The jump from isolated drills to flowing conversation is challenging. You'll feel awkward at first. You might forget to apply the techniques mid-sentence. That's completely normal. The more you practice in realistic contexts, the more automatic it becomes. Real conversations are where theory becomes skill. Here's a common fear. If I vary my pitch too much, won't I sound fake or theatrical? This stops many learners from practicing expressiveness. They'd rather sound boring than ridiculous. I understand this completely. But here's the reality. What feels exaggerated to you sounds normal to native speakers. Your internal gauge is calibrated to your flatter native language patterns. When you add what feels like extreme variation, you're actually just reaching natural English levels. Start by practicing alone where no one can judge you. Record yourself being too expressive and listen back. You'll probably discover it sounds perfectly natural, not fake at all. Push past the discomfort. Your fear is lying to you. Let's talk about mindset. You won't transform your speech overnight. You've spent years speaking with certain patterns. Your muscle memory is strong. Changing it requires consistent, deliberate practice. But here's the encouraging truth. Small improvements compound. If you practice shadowing for 5 minutes daily, record yourself weekly, and consciously apply stress patterns in one conversation each day, you'll see dramatic changes within a month. The key word is deliberate. Passive exposure isn't enough. You must actively practice with awareness. Think of it like learning an instrument. You don't just listen to music. You practice scales, repeat difficult passages, and perform pieces repeatedly. Your voice is an instrument. Train it systematically. Let me give you the complete formula now. First, identify content words in your sentences. Stress those. Second, use rhythm and pauses to chunk your speech into digestible phrases. Third, vary your pitch, rise for questions and excitement, fall for statements and authority. Fourth, practice shadowing daily to internalize natural patterns. Fifth, record yourself regularly to track progress and identify remaining flat spots. Sixth, push past discomfort and practice expressiveness until it feels natural. This isn't 6 separate techniques. It's one integrated system. When you stress content words with varied pitch, natural rhythm emerges. When you pause strategically, your stressed words land with more impact. Everything connects. Master this system, and your English transforms completely. Here are some insider tips for high-stakes situations. In job interviews, start your answers with slightly higher pitch to show confidence and energy. In presentations, pause for 2 seconds after key points. Silence creates emphasis. In speaking exams like IELTS, vary your speed. Slow down for important information, speed up slightly for background details. This shows control. When telling stories, use pitch changes to indicate different speakers or emotions. When expressing opinions, let your voice rise with passion on words that matter to you. These aren't tricks to fool people. They're techniques to ensure your delivery matches your competence. Your ideas deserve to be heard with the impact they merit. Imagine yourself 3 months from now. You're in a meeting and you notice people leaning forward when you speak. Your friend interrupts to say, "Wait, when did your English get so good?" You watch a recording of your presentation and barely recognize your own voice. It sounds confident, engaging, alive. This isn't fantasy. This is what happens when you apply everything we've covered today. Your English doesn't have to sound flat. You have all the tools now. Stress content words. Use rhythm and pauses, vary your pitch, shadow native speakers, record yourself, and practice deliberately. Start today. Record 1 minute of yourself speaking. Listen. Identify one thing to improve. Practice that one thing tomorrow. Your transformation begins with one small action. Make your English come alive.